Hi everybody, this is Professor Pronte, and with today's video we have jumped ahead a little bit in time. We're going to focus now on World War I. So, quick overview of what's happening with World War I. We're talking about the years 1914 to 1918, and the conflict here, you're talking about Germany, Austria, and the Ottoman Empire on one side, versus all sorts of folks on the other side, notably Russia, France, England, as well as the United States a little bit later on. Incredibly costly, incredibly deadly, one of the major events, of course, in human history. Our focus is not so much on the war itself, but rather how this impacted the American economy. And a couple of key takeaways that you can see here on the board. First up, during the war years, in the American economy, we saw increased use of government planning. And so what does that mean? Rather than just relying upon market forces to make sure that we had enough of all the different goods and services that we need, during these years, the government created a series of agencies designed with the purpose of making sure that we had enough food, we had enough materials that could be used in the war, and so on. And so rather than focusing on laissez-faire, hands-off, these years around World War I are associated with government planning, a much more heavy-handed approach from our government. Next up, while it's pretty obvious, I think, that the costs of war in general and World War I in particular are dramatic, it actually had some benefits to American firms. American businesses were able to profit from this in some ways. One example of that is that American firms were able to sell military goods to our allies in Europe. We also saw American farmers step into the void, and we exported large quantities of food to Europe during World War I, and this was taking place while the battles were being fought all throughout Europe, and resources couldn't obviously then be used for producing food there. So there were some benefits to American firms here. For the early years of World War I, the United States took the approach of laying back and not actively participating, but they were compelled to join the fight later on. As the United States joined World War I, this was costly for our economy. This war, as all wars are, was expensive, and we needed to generate money in order to pay for it. So what did the United States do? Here with World War I, the United States relied on a combination of sources for paying for that war effort. We borrowed money from our own citizens and from others through issuing war bonds. In fact, by borrowing money, that was the most significant way that we paid for the war. Along with borrowing money, though, we also increased taxes, right? Just collecting money directly from our citizens to pay for the war effort. Third, the government also began this practice of printing money, increasing the money supply, and by printing money, using some of those dollars to pay for war efforts. I bet you have this in your head. Printing money like this can lead to some negative consequences, and in fact, we saw that during these war years. As the government was printing dollars to pay for the war effort, we saw the general price of goods and services go up very dramatically throughout this time period. To say that more simply, the United States had very high levels of inflation in the years around World War I, and that stands out. So there you go, guys. A couple quick hits here, key items to take about what's happening in the American economy here around